also goes like for the programmatic things when it comes to staffing, when we're talking about like CTE courses, and now we're trying to make sure that our programmatic pathways of CTE, we're introducing tonight on the board agenda, like a new innovative class, so that we can actually get more funding for that and then possibly compensate, instead of taking it out of general fund balance for, for FTEs, we can compensate for that particular person out of those funds.
Because K students are the golden egg, so you get so much more funding if students are sitting in a K class. So the revenue, so you get a computer lab to teach these classes, and the students teach 3 periods a day. So when they're done with that, well then another class we can use that same lab. So your K class is actually off the lab where everyone's. So really want to make sure that those programs, especially the golden goose, which is K, federally funded, are always at the top of your list with the sign up for career technology, trades. Those are the ones that you get a lot more bang for the buck versus how that.
I have one small bit back. I'm not trying to take counter alcohol, but out of curiosity, on that 3% increase, is that across the board or is that performance based?
It's across the board. So
Schools have done way different.
Always.
Yeah. So if you look at all the different departments, bus drivers, the child nutrition, the maintenance staff,
But my point to all of that was you that when we want to hear some of this stuff,
Yeah, I'm very curious about that. But I don't want to discuss it right now. Yeah.
yeah, it's a totally different world than what we used to. Is you had asked the question, when we want to hear about some of this stuff, well, I don't necessarily want to see Bob's wish list until we can look at some more of the basics, not discounting Bob, because I know we got to do everything he wants and then some, but as far as timing, when you have some of these things available, I think that's time we need to sit down and start.
well, they're ready now.
Yeah.
And so whatever, we come back together in March, we'll start on that presentation and let's keep going. And as soon as we have more information, I'll definitely roll it out. As soon as we have more information, that's all.
So basically, they put together and it's in that.
Right, no,
So this is what they have, what's in place now based on additional requests, based on current revenue projections and all of that, but as she said, some of it.
It's going to change. So and I think I'm not hearing anything negative when they want to March, we need to have a.
Yeah, I don't think we wait.
At least
No.
one.
This time, as I said it 1,000 times, any workshops we can do this round.
Yeah, I appreciate this. Both of you, I mean, this information from both of you has been great.
Well, and I think when stuff like that, you know, because we're the search process and ticking that off and a lot of things.
You just gotta be busy for a while. That's all.
That's right, and I mean.
We're gonna be really busy,
times
but we're good with that.
when, you know, unfortunately, only 5 board members can make it in person and 2 might have to participate half time by phone, but that makes it what it is.
So we'll just have to do.
We're just gonna have to make it work. 'Cause there's a lot of work to do.
So really quickly, can Heather talk about the laptop? I mean, we don't have the time, Heather, we like truly only have.
Do you want me to go over all of them or just
No.
the laptop? Just the laptop.
Yeah.
So we discussed in, one of the items was laptop insurance for the remaining 3 months. We would like for you to consider possibly putting that on hold. You can approve that, or we've discussed putting the laptops directly in the classrooms to make sure they're available, especially for testing, to make sure we have reliable devices for testing, putting them in the classroom so students still have access to them, but waiting until next school year to actually hand them out one-to-one where students are taking them home. I don't feel right asking people, especially with the tragedy that just happened, asking them on a very short notice to pay $25 insurance for a device. It's also asking the district to pay a very large lump sum of money to insure them for 3 months, where we can instead insure them for the entire year next year. So we didn't get the devices until late December. They were imaged late January. This has put us on hold to pass them out for students to take them for junior high and high school. So that was something that we proposed.
Isn't they, weren't those laptops covered in some of the state? some of the funds?
Yes, definitely.
So could we have asked for the insurance back then and say they covered it?
Could we have,
They were just covered by.
I'm saying-
yeah, they will not cover
Once you
insurance.
got it in your hand, it's yours.
I'm saying when you got your vote for your device, you couldn't have added the insurance also.
They would have put in the grant
That it wouldn't have been covered in the grant.
There was very specific rules. that you had to
Yes.
follow in order to get those.
I like the way you,
Some of them were.
they don't think that.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get it covered by grant funds and they
Dr.
keep
Gordon's
rejecting
a
it.
real
so-
stickler. If it's not gonna be covered, we're not gonna include it.
It's because it's a rate.
Mhm.
So he was wanting to roll it into the purchase price of the quote. That's what he was getting.
So your sales rep bump it up $25.
See?
Yeah.
I knew that's what he was getting.
If that did slide, we'd be paying it back later.
Yeah.
It would get to it.
Okay, I think in the interest of time, we will end the budget / workshop. And thank you for everything. Tom, thank you, and looking forward to more education there. And
I apologize for exceeding my 5-minute limit.
Yeah, you're likely gonna
That's on
have.
us.
no, just hopefully when you go deal with some of these other schools,
State
Okay. Get everybody. Good evening, and welcome you to this meeting of Santa Fe ISD Board of Trustees. I believe it's important that this meeting be conducted in an organized and efficient manner. And to that end, would like to outline some ground rules for us to follow during the course of the evening. First and foremost, recognize this is the board's meeting, and by law, most of the discussion and all of the voting must be done in open session, but public participation by necessity must be limited to that part of the agenda that's reserved for public input. Occasionally, the board may seek comment or clarification from an administrator in attendance or even from someone in the audience. It's the board's prerogative to seek that information from non-board members as it chooses. However, unsolicited participation from the audience is inappropriate. Secondly, at times it may seem we're voting on issues of importance with little or no discussion. Be advised that all board members get a packet of background information about the various subjects on tonight's agenda several days in advance of actually coming here to participate in the meeting. After receiving the packets, all board members have and often exercise the opportunity to contact various school administrators to ask specific questions in an effort to better understand the issues on which we're expected to vote. Thank you for being interested in your school district as witnessed by your presence here tonight. We appreciate your cooperation in helping us conduct the business of Santa Fe ISD in an organized and civilized manner, and hope you enjoy the evening. Mr. Davenport, would you lead us in an invocation of the pledges, please?
Yes, sir. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we just come to you and just say thank you for all that you do. Dear Lord, we just appreciate everything that you've done to those around the community that are helping those in need from last week's winter storm. Dear Lord, just ask that you give the leaders and the safety people and all the others that are helping, give them the strength and energy and time that they can help one another and help their neighbors. Dear Lord, just ask that you watch over this board meeting and watch over each and every one of us as we leave and we go our separate ways. For it is your name we pray.
Pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we have any action from our closed session?
No, we don't, Mr. President.
All right. Ms. Davenport, we'll move on to some of our recognitions for tonight.
Yes, sir. This month, the district will recognize the outstanding achievements of our students and staff in fulfilling our mission and preparing our students to achieve and succeed. First, this evening, Santa Fe High School would like to recognize Nathan Williams and Seth Jacobs for their success at the Santa Fe High School Quad Meet. You guys want to join me? Freshman Nathan Williams tied the district record in pole vaulting with a vault of 13 feet 6 inches. This record was held by both Jack Mann, class of 2019, and also one of our own school board members, Mr. James Glassmuck. Junior Seth Jacobs set a new record of 14 feet. Both of these athletes have worked hard through an indoor season, competing all over Texas starting back in November. This dedication has both young men on a path to the state meet in May. The pole vaulting coach is Philip Miller, who's also here with us this evening. And at this time, we actually have video of both of the boys' vaults. So if you want to take a minute and watch those. So at this time, if you will please join me in congratulating Nathan and Seth. Thank you guys. And y'all can go, are you giving them this Ross will give y'all a little hand out of the basket.
I know you're not let me have my opportunity to speak.
Mr. Glassneck, go ahead, please.
You know, I have to say something here.
Was one of the former reigning
Yeah,
champs.
you broke my record. I at least get to speak. Congratulations to both of y'all, first of all, and most importantly. But You know, after y'all did that last week, I had a pole that I shattered like 3 weeks after I started. I started pole vaulting, and a week later, I had my first district meet. First, next meet, first, next meet, first. I'm not bragging, but there was no competition. And my coach pushed me to move up to another pole, and I didn't want to do it. I was comfortable on my pole, soft, easy. What do I got to lose here? I mean, I'm walking all over everybody. Why do I want to put myself in an uncomfortable spot? And a week later, I exploded that pole. If it would have broke off a foot shorter, it would have went through my back. That forced me to move to the new one. I went to the new one, and it forced me to work harder, stronger approach, higher grip, and be outside of my comfort zone. And a week later, I set a record because I finally got put in a position where I had no choice. Don't put yourself in that position. Push yourself to be better. Don't be afraid to work outside of your comfort zone. And that's not just here. And that's not just about pole vault. That's about all of us. Don't be afraid to get outside of your comfort zone, because you'll find out you can do a whole lot more. But I kept that pole, and it wasn't until last week I figured out I didn't keep that pole because I loved that pole. I kept that pole because, in a way, that thing breaking actually is what launched me to the next level. And I went on my shop and I cut it up. So remember that. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you guys again. Okay, next, the district would like to recognize our student and staff spotlights for the month of February. The Public Relations Department started a monthly student and staff spotlight. Each campus nominates students who have gone above and beyond and done something that truly makes them stand out among others. A committee reviews the nominations and selects one elementary spotlight student and one secondary spotlight student. From R.J. Woolen, third grader Elizabeth Tovar is our elementary spotlight student for the month of February. I don't think Elizabeth's with us tonight. Elizabeth went above and beyond to make a new student feel welcomed in the classroom. The new student is Spanish speaking, and Elizabeth made sure to include the student in the classroom and at recess. She also helped to translate to the teacher what the student was saying and made sure to communicate to the student important information. The new student is succeeding socially and emotionally due to Elizabeth's kindness and leadership. From Santa Fe High School, senior Jay Gillard is our secondary spotlight student, and Jay is here with us tonight if you want to join me up here. Jay actively works to make her community, state, and country a better place. She has taken the many negative things that have happened since the seniors started their freshman year and challenged that energy into leaving positive changes wherever she goes and with whomever she interacts with. Jay always puts forth an air of positivity and compassion. Jay started Club Hope and will be hosting Fighting the Unknown, an emergency preparedness training event at Santa Fe High School on March 6, 2021. Please join me in congratulating Jay. Congratulations. We also had a staff spotlight, which I don't think Mr. Danielson is here tonight either, but from Santa Fe High School, science teacher Trinity Danielson is our spotlight staff member for the month of February. Mr. Danielson was highlighted in a feature story from our UHCL educational partner. The article discussed the personal challenges he had to overcome to earn his degree and graduate from college. Mr. Danielson was an intern for us in the fall and was hired on as a science teacher at Santa Fe High School in December. So he's not here with us tonight, but we also congratulate him for being our staff spotlight member for the month of February. Okay, we appreciate all our Santa Fe ISD employees who work to provide our students every opportunity to achieve and succeed in education. Please join me this evening in celebrating, thanking, and congratulating the following SFISD staff as they are honored as Employee of the Month for February. From Barnett Elementary, we have Brandy Evans. From Kubitschek Elementary, Lena Castro. From Woolham Elementary, Kelly Temple. From Santa Fe Junior High, Elizabeth Davis. Santa Fe High School, Monica May. The Transportation Department, Shelley Foster. Maintenance and Operations Department, Julius Medina. From the Custodial Department, Myra Tovar. From Nutrition Services, Robin Lackey. And from the Administration Building, Brandy Mead. Congratulations and thank you for your service to our students and the district. Last but not least, for our recognition tonight, the district would like to recognize Destiny Martin, Barnett Elementary Principal, and Rachel Harris, Santa Fe High School Principal. A national spotlight is being shined on the systems for instructional leadership development in Santa Fe ISD and two of the district's principals. Principals Destiny Martin and Rachel Harris are featured contributing authors in the release of Learning Forward's new book, The Learning Principle, Becoming a Learning Leader. Learning Forward is an international professional learning organization advancing K-12 instructional practices. The book highlights the effective instructional practices being implemented within Santa Fe ISD's learning systems and provides guidance for principals developing as district lead learners. Destiny, Rachel, and other campus district leaders have celebrated results in student achievement from the impact of these practices. Destiny and Rachel both believe in the power of continuous learning and the role of leadership. Santa Fe ISD is appreciative of their leadership and proud of their accomplishments. Please join me in congratulating Destiny and Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next on our agenda is public comment on agenda items. The Board of Trustees will hear public comment on agenda items at all open meetings in accordance with the Texas Government Code Section 551.007. Public comment on non-agenda items will be heard at regular scheduled board meetings in April, August, and December per our policy. And tonight we have no one that has signed up. So that, and we will move on and start with our information items. Dr. Wall, I think we have some monthly reports. And
Yes, sir. We have monthly reports from our departments in your board information this evening. And Mr. Atkins is going to give us an update on high school project as well as the many projects last week that his staff undertook and got us in a good place to start school today.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
He's still
How's everybody doing?
He's still he hadn't thawed yet.
All right. Real quick on the high school project. Last week was kind of at a standstill. Due to weather, they were putting the window systems in the week before. They're still putting window systems in this week. The week off probably delayed the project total construction. I'll have an update on the schedule tomorrow at our meeting, but we're probably pushed out to the end of March before we'll be substantially complete. So I'll send an update on that into this week in our project update. The project is progressing well. The above ceiling stuff is all done. The building should be all sealed up by end of this week. The finishes are going in. The wood floor was supposed to come last week. They're looking to see where it is on a truck. Since it was supposed to be trucked in last week, they don't know if it got stuck somewhere or if it's in a warehouse still or what. So That's kind of the time sensitive part of the project at this point, because it has to come in, acclimate for a week. Then it takes about 2 weeks to put it down. Then they have to paint it, varnish it and all that and stay off of it for a week. So that's why we're looking at a somewhat of a delay. So, but the project is otherwise going really well. So let's talk about the freeze and the impact of the freeze last week. So we fared pretty well compared to other districts. We had a great plan. The plan was to run the buildings, run the pumps, run circulation. Our biggest areas of fear were at RJ Woolham because of the two cooling towers in the back and the way the system runs and loops the water through there. And then junior high with the rooftop chill water and hot water systems on the gym and the 300 halls. We did break some fittings on the 300 hall on the roof. We did have a coil, a preheat coil or a heating coil on an outside air unit actually rupture, but we were able to bypass all that and get that repaired so we could have school on today. At the gym, we lost a chill water coil, but we cool the gym with only 2 units. It has 4, so we bypassed that and we're able to do that. And then we lost a couple fittings on the gym as well. We did lose a hot water side of a unit that's over the lobby, but again, we can operate the building as it's needed. So we were fortunate there. At RJ, we lost a heat exchanger in one of the towers. We can run the building up until it gets about 85 or 90 degrees on one tower. So we've already had a meeting with Train to give us a price to come and replace the heat exchanger. That's going to be a big ticket item, but it should be covered by insurance. So as you heard tonight, our deductible on that is $10,000. And I think that's per occurrence. We're hoping, but even if it's per building, it's still not terrible. We did have a sprinkler head fail at DAEP next door inside the nurses station. We have some flooring we'll have to remove and replace because it is come undone. We had some cabinetry we had to get rid of. We're doing a dry out ourselves with fans and stuff. We were fortunate that Joel was here when the alarm went off, and so he got it turned off quickly, and we mobilized and got it cleaned up pretty quickly. It could have been a really bad deal. We were fortunate. We proactively at that point turned off all the sprinkler systems across the district of any building that had no power. When we recharged this building, we lost a sprinkler head here. So we've got those scheduled to be repaired. We lost a few backflow preventers here and there. We've got a leak at one at the high school and one at RJ, and we'll get those repaired. The ag barn fared probably the worst as far as the water side goes on the cattle section. We were working over there today. We got water to the cattle section in 2 areas, but not to the automatic water. So they have to fill up water for their cows. The goats and the swine, that water, we had 2 small leaks that we fixed last week. And so they were back up and running pretty quick. Hindsight being what it is, if we think we're going to lose power, we'll go drain that system at the cattle section in the future. So we're going to do an after action report. But all in all, we were minimally impacted compared to others, and we were very fortunate because the impact could have been a lot worse. We were fortunate to have the generators we have in place to help with some of that. Barnett High School, those 2 facilities had real minimal. We had 2 coils freeze at high school, but it's because of the operation of the building, we didn't manually override some actuators on some valves to some outside air coils. And so we lost 2 of those. But again, doesn't affect the operation of the building. We can still have school there. So, all in all, we're in a good place. We know what we're losing, and we're putting together a cost to get it all repaired, and then we'll get it over to our insurance and see what we can get reimbursed for. So
I think there might have been just a little bit of confusion as people drove by some of the buildings and they saw lights on and thinking that they had power when in fact all they had was a generator that supported emergency lights and all that. And might have been some confusion amongst the community. And the high school is the only building that could totally function if it had to on a generator.
That is correct. It has a 2 megawatt generator, and it can run full function as it's designed. Doesn't include the field house, doesn't include the sports areas, but it does work the whole high school.
Just for everyone's benefit and any public that's listening right now, I wanted to point that
Yeah,
out.
Barnett's generator will run a 20-ton chiller that runs all the MDFs and the MDF and all the IDFs, which are the technology rooms. Their HVAC, emergency lighting, freezer and coolers in the kitchen, and some refrigerators inside the building. But the lights, emergency lighting is what they saw at Barnett. This building, emergency lighting is run on generator along with a knock, along with some other things. So you would see lights on in this building. Transportation, same thing. They run fuel pumps, the lift station, some lights inside there. So those are our 4 big generators. We have a small generator at Kubitschek, not tied to any lights, just tied to the freezer cooler to protect from food spoilage. So, and
Questions for Bob?
I have to shout out to maintenance and custodial staff. They were here Tuesday on roofs. We were here Wednesday. I was here with them on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday till 5 o'clock each day, working to make sure we could open school today. And we were able to do that. So they did a great job. We're able to get here and did everything that we asked. And we were fortunate enough, the repairs we made without having to go to a store except for one part. And we found parts here just to make it work. So we MacGyvered it up so we can open school on today. So
We very much appreciate
thank
that.
you all for that.
Believe me. Any questions for Bob?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you all.
Okay, let's see, Mr. Sanchez, you're gonna give us a little update on the depository contract bid process.
Good evening. Yes, I'm actually gonna let Sarah Fluger, she's our accountant, she's actually gonna go over it with you. I'll be here to answer any questions y'all shall have after she's done. It's just gonna be a little overview and just an update on how everything is going. So, let's see.
Hi, good evening. How are y'all? So I'm Sarah Fluger. I'm the accountant with the district, and I've been here for about a year now. I come to the district with 10 years of banking experience. Before I came in, I started working at Associated Credit Union, where I was the branch manager. So I know a lot about how the depository contract should look like. We're currently out to bid for the new contract, and we started back in September of this last year. We have developed a committee of 7 people that are in the business department, as well as some people who utilize all of our accounts and services that we're looking for the district. We are currently on track on our timeline about where we should be at. So over the next few weeks, we're going to meet together as a committee to discuss the needs of the district, of what we're looking for, and do the deposits. After we get and figure out who we want to recommend for the depository contract this year, we are going to then take it to the finance committee and discuss who we recommend. And then after that, in May, we're going to bring it to y'all to discuss who we recommend. So once the depository contract is approved, we have to then submit it to TEA for approval. And once they approve it, then it'll be effective on July 1st. Do y'all have any questions?
Any questions?
We
Thank
did
you. Oh, I'm
extend that
sorry.
bid deadline. It was last week, so it got
Yes.
extended to this following Wednesday.
Yes, we went ahead and extended it to this Wednesday to give people a few extra days since of the freeze was last week.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank y'all very much.
Oh, all right.
Okay, that will take us into our consent agenda, Dr. Wall.
Yes, sir. We had the following items for your consideration and approval in our consent agenda this evening, including our minutes from prior meetings, accounts payable, budget amendments, a JJAEP MOU, which incorporates this year as well as next year moving forward. They've updated it based on some of the legal recommendations, student transfers per our policy, and a few additions to our fast food vendors.
questions?
Nope.
No, sir.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as it was presented. Any comments? Cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. All right. We'll move on into our regular agenda, and our first item of business, Ms. Davenport, you've actually got several. Our policy update 116.
Yes, sir, I do. Update 116 includes policy revisions in response to revised state rules and provisions from the 86th legislative session that are effective January 1st, 2021.
Any questions? It's your pleasure.
Searching.
President, I move that we approve update 116 as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the policy update 116. Any comments?
No, sir.
Cast your votes, please. And it has been approved unanimously. Okay, next, our Music in Our Schools Month.
The National Association for Music Education has designated March 1st through the 31st of 2021 as Music in Our Schools Month. This year's theme is Music, the Sound of My Heart. And Santa Fe ISD, the study of music contributes to our students' educational development through heightened skills in listening, reading, self-expression, and creativity.
President, I move that we proclaim the month of March as Music in Our Schools Month of Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the month of March as Music in Our Schools Month. Any questions?
No, sir.
Not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Okay, we got our National Social Workers Month.
The primary mission of the social work profession is to enhance well-being and help meet the basic needs of all people, especially the most vulnerable in our society. The month of March has been set aside to honor this group of professionals. Social workers embody this year's theme, Social Workers Are Essential, by serving, advocating for, and empowering millions of Americans each day. The district urges all citizens to join with the National Association of Social Workers and Santa Fe ISD in celebration and support of the social work profession.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim the month of March as Social Workers Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Social Workers Month. Any questions?
No, sir.
Not, cast your votes, please. It has passed unanimously. Okay, the next one is our educational diagnosticians.
An important part of ensuring young students stay on a road to success is making sure they have a rigorous and well-rounded education. For some children, learning new things and succeeding in their classes is a smooth process. For others, additional or specialized instruction is necessary for their success. When young students need a helping hand, educational diagnosticians play a vital role. Educational diagnosticians undergo specialized training to use academic and cognitive evaluations to isolate factors that could enhance students' performance in the classroom. These professionals help provide our next generation of leaders with knowledge and skills that are the building blocks of lifelong excellence by developing and recommending teaching strategies and materials. As part of an ongoing effort to highlight their contributions and to demonstrate gratitude for their service, March 1st through the 5th, 2021, has been designated as Educational Diagnosticians Week in Texas.
Mr. President, I move that we proclaim March 1st through 5th, 2021 as Educational Diagnosticians Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for Educational Diagnosticians Week. Any comments? Not what you have. Vote, please. I'll get it out in a second.
No, you gotta say it again.
And it has passed unanimously. Okay, you have one more.
Yes, sir. National School Breakfast Week is March 8th through the 12th, 2021. The theme this year is Blast Off Healthy School Breakfast. This week is set aside to encourage all residents to become aware and concerned about their children's and their own nutritional habits in hope of achieving a more healthful citizenry for today and the future.
President, I move the board proclaim the week of March 8th to 12, 2021 as National School Breakfast Week.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for National School Breakfast Week. Any questions? All right, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hey, Ms. Ross, want to talk about the K-5 library for below level?
Yes, sir. In alignment with the Literacy Long Range Plan, we are adding to our collection of grades K-5 below level Lexile libraries for readers in need of scaffolding in the workshop approach. These libraries contain high-interest, age-appropriate books that allow for the reader to increase comprehension while strengthening essential reading skills. Multi-level libraries meet the recommended developmental needs of students as they grow in their learning of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. These libraries are funded through the Instructional Material Allotment Funds. Consider and approve the purchase of K-5 classroom below level library at a cost not to exceed $30,045.
What does this look like? I mean, I'm just curious. I have no idea what.
So these go,
What
so with our long range plan and with the workshop, balanced literacy workshop model, we have been adopting over the past 3 years a diverse set of libraries that go in the classroom. So the teachers, so when you're teaching literacy in the classroom, the teachers are able to teach a concept or a theme by allowing kids to have individual choice in their reading, but it's appropriate, it's subject appropriate and high interest appropriate readers. So we try to make certain that they have multiple, a variety of choice and selection in the classroom, because it is so important for them to be able to have that buy-in when you're starting young reading. So the lower level Lexile books, which is really important that you get the choices, because you're always going to have to scaffold, especially in the developmental skills of reading, you're going to always have to scaffold that learning for those kids, but you want to make certain that they have the high interest books that are on their grade level of their peers, so that they're still reading the same type of interest materials, but they're not, they're developing throughout that so that they can eventually scaffold to the next level. So we have lower level libraries, and then you have at Lexile level, that's the, age appropriate, grade appropriate reading level. And then we have above Lexile libraries in the classroom, so that those can be authentic learning experiences and the kids can actually grow through that as they develop.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we consider and approve the purchase of the K-5 classroom below level library at the cost not to exceed $30,045.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the K-5 classroom library. Any questions or comments? Not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Ryan, got the general employment skills course for Santa Fe Junior High?
Yes, good evening. The course titled General Employability Skills is an innovative course offered by TEA, which counts as a CTE credit. To implement innovative courses, districts must have local board approval. In accordance with TAC 74.27, school districts must provide instruction in all essential knowledge and skills identified in this course. This course is designed to guide students in obtaining the knowledge and the needed employability skills that are transferable among a variety of jobs and careers and are considered essential in any employment situation. So we ask that you consider and approve the implementation of the innovative course titled General Employability Skills at the junior high for the 2021-2022 school year.
So this program teaches them to actually interact versus living through electronics.
It should be very interactive, yes.
That's what
Yes, you want to hire some of these kids, don't you?
Yes, later, because that's the problem. They don't know how to communicate.
Right.
Much pleasure.
Mr. President, I make a motion to consider and approve the implementation of the innovative course titled General Employability Skills at the junior high school for the 2021-2022 school year.
I'll gladly second that.
Okay, it's been moved and second that we approve the innovative course, general employment skills, employability skills. Any questions or comments? Not cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Ronell, you have a waiver for hybrid instruction.
Yes. For students in grades 9 through 12, schools may establish a less than daily on-campus attendance schedule as the sole offering for students in order to reduce the number of individuals on a campus at any one time and increase the total number of students served in an on-campus setting. This waiver applies to state assessment dates to reduce the number of students on campus during testing. Students who are not scheduled to take an end-of-course exam on the dates listed below will work from home and attend their classes virtually. This will allow for more staff to be available to proctor the end-of-course exams, and therefore fewer students will need to be in each testing classroom. Most test rooms will be able to have as few as 10 to 12 students, therefore greatly increasing social distancing and providing a safer testing environment. Any LEA that pursues this hybrid option may do so after submitting a waiver request to TEA. All waivers will be conditionally approved upon receipt, but may be subject to further TEA review. And the testing dates are April 27th, April 29th, May 11th, 12th, and 13th. So we ask that you consider and approve the waiver for hybrid instruction for 9th through 12th grade students on state assessment days.
President, I make a motion to consider and approve the waiver for hybrid instruction in 9th through 12th grade students on state testing days.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the waiver for this hybrid instruction. Any questions or comments? All right, cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Townsend, we'll talk about our casualty insurance renewal.
Yes, and Mr. Linkletter is here to talk about that. Yes.
Okay, try to make this a little shorter than the board workshop, but we have two items to discuss this evening. One is the property coverage renewal. We, based on all the information we discussed at the board meeting, we were able to come up with 6 different options that were variable limit and deductible options. And my understanding in those discussions that the consensus was that we're looking at around a 3% named storm wind deductible, and that the decisions were kind of between $75 and $50 million limit, if I remember correctly. And I believe that's the kind of decision we have to decide at this point, which option we want to go with. Now, we started off with last year with a $75 million limit and a 3% named storm wind deductible. So our options go from a $25 million limit up to a $100 million limit, and deductible options from 3%, from 2% up to 5%.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve property and casualty insurance for 2021 to 2022 at an amount not to exceed option 4 of $1,940,685.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the option 4 that was presented to us for the property and casualty insurance for 2021, 2022. Do we have any questions or comments?
I just want to make a comment maybe to people that are watching. I mean, this was a hard decision.
I mean, obviously, we didn't want to go with 25. That's 25 million. That's just ridiculous. And 50 even sound kind of low. So we were stuck with an option between a 3% and a 5% a deductible. And I mean, I know that's a challenge that we all face in home and everything. So we decided to go the responsible way if something was to happen, or maybe not yet, but
Maybe speaking a little bit early.
yeah, we should speak early, but in my opinion, that's was the better choice. So.
And just for the viewers out there, this, all the options increased. So we did not have an opportunity to stay with the current
Correct.
rate. So with this option to the viewers out there, this is a $207,000 increase. So.
Any other questions or comments? Not, would you cast your votes, please? Okay, it has passed.
Okay, the second item we have is the casualty. It's the coverage. It is the auto and liability. Currently, the district is a member of the PCAT, Property Casualty Alliance of Texas School Risk Program. It is in the second year or this would begin the second year of a 3-year term that was started last year. The PCAT program offered a multi-year rate stabilized guarantee where regardless of losses, which are the main driver for casualty rates, that the maximum increase would be 10% per year. And this year, just based on the changes in exposures and reinsurance costs, the increase was 5.6% for a total of $261,901.
President, I make a motion to approve the renewal of the general liability insurance for the policy term from March 1st, 2021 to February 28, 2022, with the cost not to exceed $261,901.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the renewal of the general liability insurance policy. Any questions or comments? Not, cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. All right. Mr. Sanchez, I guess our next item is the investment policy and strategies resolution.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So Texas Government Code 2256, the Public Funds Investment Act, as amended by the 76th Texas Legislature, requires a local government to purchase, sell, and invest its funds in investments authorized by law and in compliance with investment policies approved by the governing board. The act also requires the board to review the school district's investment policy and investment strategies no less than annually, and states that the board shall adopt a written instrument indicating that it has reviewed the investment policy and investment strategies, and that the written instrument so adopted shall record any changes made to either the investment policy or investment strategies. The district's quarterly investment reports comply with all elements of CDA legal and CDA local. Attached is one resolution. The resolution reviewed of investment program is to review our current investment policy, CDA local. This resolution also names 2 brokers in our investment pools as qualified brokers. I ask the board to consider and approve the investment policy resolutions, including names of brokers and investment options.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve investment policy resolutions, including names of brokers and investment options.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the investment policy resolutions. Any questions or comments? Not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Okay, next we have some donations.
Yes, sir. We have brought over some donations. We have received several donations from the Education Foundation, from several of our booster clubs, including the boys basketball team, the football booster club, the girls softball team, and volleyball team. in the amount totaling $62,196.31. I ask the board to please consider and approve the acceptance of the donation that is greater than $5,000 received.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve the acceptance of the donation that is greater than 5,000 received. The total donation is $62,196.31.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the donations. Any questions or comments? Cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McKinney, you need to do the service fee for the Zonar system.
Yes, we have the annual renewal for Zonar systems that provides our electronic monitoring of bus engine problems and codes, safe operations, so any erratic driving it picks up, speed, GPS location of buses. The ZPass Plus app allows parents to track their students' transportation activities on and off the bus and arrival at school. And they can get notifications by text or app. Zonar allows the transportation department to evaluate route accuracy, arrival times, departure times, and student ridership. We're asking that you approve the Zonar annual service fee not to exceed $23,994 from Zonar Systems.
Did it go up from last year?
We actually have decreased the number of units that we're monitoring. We had a license for 50. We dropped 6 of them off just because we have fewer buses in that we were looking at 50 and we had one that we had retired, and then we were just paying for buses that we weren't going to use. And so we can reactivate those units for only $25 instead of paying 400 something a year to monitor one. So the overall went down. And we did add the ZPass Plus service, so that's the parent app that would have caused it to go up some.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve the Zonar annual service fee not to exceed $23,994 from Zonar System.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the bus monitor service fee from Zonar. Any questions? Cast your votes, please.
Mike's not on, Jonathan's probably mad at me.
And it has been approved unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Atkins, we need to repair some water inlets.
Yes, sir. So we, back when the high school was built, they installed multiple stormwater drain systems, inlets out by the fields and in different areas. And a lot of those in the grassy areas have undermined and failed due to improper installation back in 2000. If you've been out to the softball, baseball field or football field, you've seen the orange fences around it. We have sinkholes that go 4 or 5 foot deep around some of these inlets because they were installed incorrectly. They used face brick as risers above a precast base instead of using concrete rings or a fully enclosed box. And then we also have some washout at the final inlet outfall of the detention pond that goes out to the Gulf Coast Water Canal. That is also washing out. The problem with this system is the way it's designed is the outfall is below water level of the Gulf Coast Water Canal. So the system's always flooded. So repairing it has really been difficult because we can't dewater it. So we've got money from a grant from the state of Texas, the Texas Disaster Aid Assistance Fund, to repair these inlets. And that's what we're asking you to approve. We went out for bid. We got 4 bids ranging from this contractor, MBD NBM contractor. And his price was, with a $30,000 contingency, was $111,830. And he was quite a bit less than the others. He has actually done some repairs for us that we did out of general fund on a couple of these. So he's worked with us, so he knows what he's getting into. The other bids were 50,000 or more higher. And that's why we've selected him as our recommendation for you guys to consider and approve. We will go and excavate each one of these. The first one we'll do will be the one in the detention pond. We'll put a weir system in so that we can dewater it in the future. They'll dewater it, and then we'll go and dig up the other 10 locations. The $30,000 contingency allows us to address anything we see that may come up whenever we start excavating some of this. So
they did the original construction. Wasn't there an inspection crew that had to stamp off on this?
There should have been. there should have been a civil engineer that came and signed off on it. There should have been city inspectors, and there should have been architect inspectors, and then also the school district had hired a person as a representative as well, and they didn't.
And all those people didn't sign?
No. There's no cement stabilized sand around any of these inlets. There's face brick instead of concrete risers. It could have been that they VE'd some of this, value and engineered, because that project was over budget. I don't know. But that's kind of a silly value engineering to me. Because, but I mean, some of the last inlet has a pipe that comes in at about a 22.5-degree angle. And the right side of the pipe is all the way in the inlet box, but the left side of the pipe is this far out of the inlet box. So, I mean, it's just poor construction.
Just constantly washing out.
Yep. And with it always wet, I mean, we've tried to repair them ourselves, and we've done that in years past when we had really dry weather, like when we had the drought back in 2011. We were able to dig down and dewater them and get them repaired. But since Harvey and all that, we just can't get enough water out of them.
And we'll get all those signatures and sign offs and things after this is done.
Yeah.
So there's no repercussion to go back to the original contractor just to.
There's not after 20 years. There's just nothing we can do with that.
Not out of our pocket though, right?
No, it was grant funds. It was grant funds, and really we're still under budget. I think they gave us just over 200, right at 200,000. So we've covered Kirsch Komosky's design cost of about 40,000, and then we still have, and we're at 111 on this, and so we still have, we got more money than we are actually going to spend. So
when we got the money, it came to the state of Texas, so it's showing on our general ledger in the fund balance of the general fund, but it is earmarked for this project. So
Okay, that's what I was.
Project, we're probably going to have to get the money back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, it shows general fund, but you put the grant money in the general fund.
Right.
Yes,
It's not free money.
Yeah.
The delta's not free.
So that's fine.
So is there any other storm inlets and drains that we can utilize that money and go investigate and explore just to make sure while we have the grant and we have a little bit of extra?
So that's what the contingency dollar is there to do, is to go look for things like that. So yes.
Even outside those 10?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's tied more towards, I don't know if it's tied exactly to the property or if we can go and look at some other areas, but it's definitely tied.
It needs to help drainage.
Right. It needs to help drainage in the district.
Keep on the flooding from happening again. So we have a few things that do fit that category that would probably fit in there that we're looking at and getting pricing on.
Right.
Thank you.
That's why the bid was $30,000 less than what the asking price is right now, because I didn't want to have to come back and say, hey, we found other things we can spend this money on. I'd rather just ask for it now and then find opportunities to utilize the funds.
Thank you. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the proposal of performance stormwater inlet repairs with NBM Development Incorporated for the cost not to exceed $111,830.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and second that we approve this contract with the NBM Development. Any questions or comments? Would you cast your votes, please? And it has passed unanimously.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. This can't wait till April. The school has this. I've spoken to her. I've spoken to Jenny. I've spoken to Sarah. I've spoken to Dr. Wall. My daughter's life is being threatened. There are several kids at this junior high that are in danger. It's one of y'all's educators doing it. It's a teacher.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to identify yourself first off?
Gabriel Fuentes. I'm a parent in the district. My child's been in this district for 8 years. I've been screaming from the rooftops for help since September. Y'all have been sitting on this for 6 months. There is threats on her life. Your teacher is stalking her.
Okay, ma'am, this is not the place.
I can't wait till
And I
April.
can't, would you
It's getting
take
worse.
this up with Chief Braun over there?
I have touched base with everyone, sir, but this cannot wait till April. There's gonna be another tragedy here. I need you to understand that. It's escalating.
Ma'am.
It's just gonna hurt my daughter.
So I was not expecting that. I had no clue what that was. And I can assure you that the district will look into whatever she's talking about, but this is not the time and the place for that. The board knew nothing about that, and we are not in a position to discuss that at this time, but we will make sure that it gets looked into and brought back to the board if it needs to be. Okay, Mr. Wheeler, we need to get some door lock sets.
Yes, good evening. While we conducted the security audit, it was identified that there were locks at campuses that didn't perform as the same as the other locks. Now, these locks all lock, but what happens with 105 of these locks, that every time a student exits that door, the door unlocks itself from the inside. Well, building code says that every door in any room has to have free egress. Well, with this, we're asking to purchase 105 locks in order to get them all on the same page, so they all function the same manner, meaning a student, a teacher, anybody can leave those doors at any time, but the door remains locked from the outside.
So we have faulty locks.
No, sir, they're not faulty. They operate exactly as they should. But when they were installed, it was just, I don't know what the case was when they were installed, but they do lock, but it requires that every time somebody leaves, there's 105 of them that if a student leaves to go to the restroom, a teacher would have to go over there, shut the door, lock the door, and then wait for the student to come back. And then as soon as they hit that handle again, the door would unlock itself from the outside, and then the teacher would have to shut the door and relock it so it's secure from the outside of the hallway. This is 429 grant.
Yeah.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is, because it has to be secured, and it's, you can't ask a teacher to get up every time a student walks to the door and goes to the restroom or whatever the case may be to leave. And it's just, they need to function in the same manner as the rest of them.
So I guess it's mainly a Kubitschek and RJ?
Yes, sir. It's only a Kubitschek and RJ. There's 105 of them, and they're almost split in half.
And those were installed when?
2009. Bob did it. I'm just kidding. He didn't. It was before Bob. It was before him. It was before.
Hey, Mark, I think somebody just threw somebody under one of your buses.
Yeah, I know. No, it was prior. And the design, it never gets reported because a teacher locks the door. So it's just something that the teachers were dealing with every day. And then, that's where we are.
Well, with that being said, great joke.
Yeah.
If it was a joke. Approve the purchase of 105 Mortise lock sets for RJ Willem and Kubitschek Elementary at a price of $28,440.30.
Second. Okay, so we moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of the 105 lock sets. Any questions or comments? Cast your votes, please.
Thank you.
And we're doing the installation installation of the locks, correct?
And it is
Yes,
passed
it is
unanimously.
only the purchase of the locks. We will do all the installation ourselves.
Okay. Ms. Brown, we have a couple items that come to your attention. The first one being the student laptop device insurance coverage.
Good afternoon. Yes, we would like to consider postponing the student laptop insurance until the beginning of next school year, as we only have 3 months left. And due to the recent ice storm, we know that finances are going to be very tight for families. We still want to put the laptops in the classrooms at the junior high and the high school, but just postpone students taking these new devices home until we can look possibly in June or July at assessing an insurance fee.
So when would you like this to come back up? In a meeting?
June,
June?
yes.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we postpone the approval. I don't know more of that.
Approval process.
Yeah, the approval process for student laptops, device coverage for 2,300 district laptops. At a cost not to exceed $57,500 for coverage from March 1st through March 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2021 until June of 2020.
I do want to make a note that if we do move forward with this and it's whenever we represent this in June, the cost will be higher as it will be an entire year instead of a prorated fee. So that's something to consider as we move forward.
I'm just postponing it to get it off the agenda for
Yes.
today.
Second.
Okay, so we moved and seconded that we pull this from the agenda and reconsider it in June. Any questions or comments?
Yes, sir.
Cast your votes, please. And it has passed. All right. Now we have the UPS system.
Yes, we would like the board to consider purchase of the UPS or uninterrupted power supplies that are eligible for E-rate funding at a 60% E-rate for 40% district cost. The percentage is based on Title I, and we are actually grandfathered in at what we were considered last year due to enrollment being different due to COVID. The UPS, we're just going to go with that. The UPS basically provide us with that uninterrupted power in the event of a power loss. It gives us that 1 to 5 minute time until the generator kicks in and protects our MDF and IDF closets that directly tie to the internet and instruction and our switches. The 15 that we are requesting being replaced directly tied to instruction. And we would like the board to consider and approve the purchase of the E-rate eligible UPS upgrade for a cost not to exceed $17,094 with 60% or $10,256.40 paid through E-rate, and the remaining 40% of $6,837.60 covered by the anticipated reimbursement from Operation Connectivity, the PPRP is where those funds would come from.
So educate me why we need to upgrade them. Are they not working properly now?
They are past their end of life.
They're basically just a battery, and batteries go bad.
Yes.
No
But they
different
served
than a
us very
car or
well during this
battery or
power
any
outage.
battery. They're just batteries and they go bad.
Yes.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase of the E-rate eligible UPS upgrade for the cost not to exceed $17,094 with 60% or $10,256.40 paid through the E-rate, and the remaining 40% or $6,837.60 will be covered by the anticipated reimbursement from Operation Connectivity Prior Purchase Reimbursement Program.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of the C-rate eligibility UPS upgrade. Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Would you cast your votes, please? And it has been approved unanimously. Okay, next you have the managed broadband services.
Yes. So again, this is through E-rate. We would like the board to consider the purchase of managed internal broadband services. And this is basically outsourcing some of the management of our network. And it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 management. We have asked Layer 3, who won the bid, to put a contingency in their contract that if in the event, the beginning of July, we do not have the funds, we can back out of the contract. And that is something that CRW and E-rate said that that is doable, and it's something they do quite frequently, and Layer 3 has agreed. So we, right now, just need to see if we can approve this to get the contract signed to secure the 60% that E-rate would provide. So we would like for you to approve the purchase of the E-rate eligible managed internet broadband services for a cost not to exceed $62,772, with 60% or $37,663.20 being paid through E-rate, and the remaining 40% or $25,108.80 when funds are available in future fiscal years. And again, that is contingent on funding.
Is this who we're using now? Are we replacing somebody, or is this something new we're adding?
We do, it would be something new that we're adding. We do not have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week management service. In the past, we had staff that spent an exorbitant amount of their time, and their skill set was very, very unique.
Limited.
Yes.
So the deadline for the contract through CRW is coming due in March. So
Correct.
we have to say that we want to participate, but it doesn't require that we execute the contract. We just have to have the board approval to say we want to submit the contract. And then if the funding comes through the budget manager of technology, then we would be able to go forward with the project.
Yes, that wording will be in the contract. They are rewriting it today, actually, to be contingent upon funding.
I hate outsourcing things, but I know it's probably our only option. I make a motion, we approve the purchase of the E-rate eligible managed internet broadband service for a cost not to exceed $62,772, with 60% or $37,663.20 being paid through the E-rate, and the remaining 40% or $25,108.80 will occur when funds are available in the future fiscal years.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the E-rate as managed internet broadband services. Any questions or comments? Would you cast your votes, please? And it is passed unanimously. Okay, have one more, the wireless access point upgrade.
Yes, we would request the purchase of wireless access point upgrades at Santa Fe Junior High and Santa Fe High School. The current access points at both locations were purchased in 2014 and are past the support date of 2019. The biggest problem with the end-of-life equipment upgrade is compatibility between old and new technology. It also, we need to ensure reliability during critical testing time. The wireless access points basically give all teachers and students, all staff and students, access to the internet wirelessly. We're asking for, we had 210 indoor wireless access points and 5 exterior access points bid through E-rate. And I do want to just briefly discuss E-rate is, they have a formula that we have to follow, with the biggest points being awarded to price. So the better the price, the more points they get. We had 10 bids that we received, and this was by far the most fiscally responsible. We would like to have these installed in the summer so that we can start the new year with fresh access points. We ask that you approve the purchase of the E-rate eligible wireless access point upgrade to Santa Fe High School and Santa Fe Junior High for a cost not to exceed $185,846, with 60% or $111,507.60 paid through E-rate, and the remaining 40% or $74,338.40 covered out of a combination of general fund budget matter 14 and general fund balance. We hope to be able to get all of it through general 14, budget 14.
We think we could split it over the summertime,
Mhm.
June and July, and just hit that 2-year split. And maybe get 50,000 out of that, and then we're gonna just do what we always do for the rest.
And I do want to point out that we have already started considering future wireless access points and budgeting for those now.
You know why they were so significantly lower than the other people who put in bids?
I think a lot of it comes from that they've worked with us and they knew what they were getting into. And there was one company that bid a totally different brand than what we had asked for of wireless access points, and that kicked the cost up quite a bit. There were a few that they didn't quite understand what we wanted, so that all played a part in how much they charged or how much they bid.
So you think you're going to get 50,000 of the 74 covered? You're going to try?
Yes, sir. I do. I believe
What brand are
there's
they?
some things such as that we've already budgeted for, such as cameras. We can ship them to a grant, and then we can use that to cover the 50. So yes, that's the plan.
To answer your question, they're Meraki.
James Brand X.
Meraki ain't brand X, man.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase of the E-rate eligible wireless access point upgrade for Santa Fe High School and Santa Fe Junior High for a cost not to exceed $185,846, with 60% or $111,507.60 being paid through the E-rate, and the remaining 40% or $74,338.40 will be covered out of the combination of general fund budget manager 14 technology and general fund balance.
Second.
Thought I asked you to repeat that. I won't. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of the wireless access point upgrade. Any questions or comments?
No.
And cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that concludes all our regular agenda items. So we will now move into communications. Quickly, before I get with the directors, Ms. Welch, would you tell everybody how the gala is going to work this week and give us a brief on how that all happens?
I'd be happy to. Do you want me to come up here?
It was whatever works for you. Like I said, just it's this week and it's a big deal and it's new, and just so we all understand what the expectations are.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. That's a great question. We have actually worked very hard over the last week and made the ultimate decision to postpone the gala to April 6th because of our community and our Santa Fe ISD families who need the time to recover, rebuild from the freeze last week. So if you'll all pull out your phones and go ahead and move that to April 6th. We are working on informing everyone through social media, through print media, and also through district communications about that rescheduled date.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Townsend, you have anything else for us?
No, sir, just, we really did appreciate the kids coming over for the 100-day celebration. That was really cool to see. That was great. And special thanks to all the people who worked so hard to get everything pulled back online, the buildings back opened up. And on the auto liability, it wasn't mentioned, but Mark has spent a lot of time with his staff, a lot of training. PCAT has done a lot of training with us to make sure that we keep those accidents down. So they have been working diligently. So want to keep that progress up. There have been no claims. So that's wonderful since about 2019. So we want to keep that record going, and then we really should reap the benefits, not next year, but the following year, because our rates are so loss driven. So special thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Bob, you have anything else?
Just, thanks to all the hard work from my staff, Chris, and all the maintenance guys, custodians on last week, dedicating their time and coming up here and making sure we could have class today. One of the few school districts, I think, in the area that actually were able to do that. So, and, wish the best to everybody who had damage and, had struggles through the weather we had last week.
Okay. Ms. Answer?
Well, Mr. Norman, I have several things. First off, the calendar of events that's at your seats for March, just to draw your attention. I'd also like to add that during the closure, we received a proclamation for Texas Public Schools, so we were not able to present that to you this evening, but districts across Texas will be celebrating Texas Public Schools the week of March 1st through the 5th. So I just wanted to make sure that we shared that information with you. And then also, I wanted to congratulate Ms. Harris and her staff for having the highest staff attendance for the second 9 weeks. They had 98%, and a lot of that is attributed to us allowing our employees to alternatively work if they are quarantined or if they are able to work from home and still continue to deliver instruction to their students. So, and then across the district, we had 96% for staff. So that's I just want to thank them all. And then I do have something written because, public relations wise, I just felt like it was appropriate at this point to share these thoughts. But I just want to take a moment to thank all our amazing staff and Santa Fe ISD community for their leadership and compassion last week as we work through yet another unprecedented and challenging event. We implemented our weather preparedness plan the week prior to this event, and although you can plan, you cannot plan for unforeseen circumstances or record ongoing freezes impacting the entire state of Texas. As an administrative team, we worked through the week checking on our staff and ensuring we were able to do all we could to help make these stressful times a little less stressful. As a team, we continue to work on the most accurate and updated information to keep our stakeholders aware of closures and so forth, so that they could focus on their families and take care of what was happening with them personally as a result of this Arctic event. Our staff stayed in contact with their students and worked to make sure their students were safe and cared for. I had teachers reaching out to me once we opened in coordination with the city, the warming center, to make sure our Santa Fe ISD families were able to enter the facility. Once again, as a community, we all worked together to help one another when we were all experiencing a challenging time with no power, no water, no connectivity, and broken pipes, which resulted in inhabitable homes. We've witnessed neighbors helping neighbors by delivering firewood, plumbing supplies, water, food, and the list goes on. A huge thanks to all our staff who worked to ensure that our facilities and infrastructure were assessed and repairs were made to ensure a safe return to school today.
During our HR stay interviews that we conduct prior to spring break or shortly after, we always ask our employees why they stay in this district. I think the answer is quite apparent. We are a family, and no matter what we face, we always take care of each other. We always rise to the challenge, and we appreciate your leadership as a board and superintendent to make sure that every decision you make is focused on the safety of our students, staff, and our greater Santa Fe ISD community. I'm proud to work for this district that focuses on their greatest assets, and that's our students and staff. Also, I'd like to thank Team Lakehaw and Operation Honor Our Veterans, local veterans, which Chris Wheeler is one of their executive board members, who thanked and honored our maintenance staff and custodial department and our police department, who helped with the warming center at the high school. This organization provided barbecue meals this past Saturday at the police department, while also serving many of our community members who were in need of a hot meal. So once again, our community came together in a time when we all needed to. And I just wanted to take the time to thank everyone for that. And that's all I have, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Ross.
All right. Now, I just wanted to, piggyback kind of off what she was saying. I can tell you, it takes many years to build a really hardy culture, but the culture of resiliency now definitely 100% can be described. I walked through several campuses today. Teachers were on point. Students were smiling and excited. It was as if nothing has changed. We're trying to look at our accountability data and get ready for all of that because, TEA is tirelessly, saying no matter what, we will measure you. So I go into several meetings today. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. So what can I help with? And they're like, oh, we don't need you, Kim. We're good. We already did this plan. So it was just great to see that everybody is just so resilient. They came in and it's as if, and last week, a lot of people suffered and, you guys know that. And to see the teachers and the principals and everybody just making it a place that felt like home, it was really it's just an awe-inspiring thing. It's happened every time we've gotten, what it felt like punched in the stomach. Everybody has gotten up, they just do it. And it's a great thing to see. So it was just nice. It was just something that was very meaningful today to walk through and see everybody just smiling and breathing and a lot of people have busted pipes and no food in their refrigerator right now, but what happened, just great. So just wanted to let you guys know how much we appreciate. All of our teachers who opened their doors to the kids today with that smile and that love.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Lambert, you have anything to add for us tonight?
Real brief, before we get into our communications, I can do it now or I can do it later, but I'm going to make a motion that we briefly adjourn to executive to discuss safety, personnel, and legal matters.
Well, first off, we can't make a motion right now for that because it's not an agenda item, but I can call and had already planned on doing that. So
you can do that after the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we won't officially adjourn the meeting, but I can pull us back into executive session.
Okay. As long as you can do it that way, it's fine. All right.
I just wanted to echo a lot of the statements that were made about maintenance, especially to ensure that we came back today. Obviously, you guys did an outstanding job that required a lot of field auditing to make sure that we covered everything and, it was safe for people to come back. In addition to that, WCID number 8 for preventing us from going underneath a boil water notice, that was huge for our whole community. Also, with it being FFA week, I want to give a shout out to our ag teachers because they are, they also showed up during all of this. I was getting the remind notices on my phone. They were offering to go feed and water animals for kids who couldn't make it to the barn. And, year round, they do stuff around the clock. They come out to my barn. We don't keep animals at the ag barn. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, they're always there. So this is my family's 35th year in a youth agricultural program, I guess you could say. And I just can't say enough about FFA. Sadly, I didn't have my jacket to wear tonight like Mr. Grassmack.
She did look. She did. She was trying to wear it.
And I also admitted that if I did find it, it might not have fit the way that it did whenever I was in high school here, but
she did look and make an effort to.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Grassmuck.
Ms. Townsend, thanks for the workshop. Whenever you need us, let us know. I know you're in a crunch for some stuff. We're going to be extremely busy later next few months anyway. So, hey, we might as well just move in up here. Bob and all your team, great job getting everything back in order so we could get back. If anybody didn't know, it's FFA week. So happy National FFA week. Of course, Seth and Nathan, my record-breaking pole vaulting buddies. Congratulations. And honestly, they're going to be in for a little surprise because one of these days, because their record will get broken too. And honestly, it feels pretty darn good because I know what it's like to hold that record. And now somebody else gets to feel that. So it's fine. Wish the best for the community. Hope everybody gets their pipes and stuff back together, and maybe we can get to 2022. I don't know. I'm done.
Mr. Hertenberger.
Well, I don't know how to follow any of that up. Thanks, Bob, for all y'all's help. Congratulations to all the folks that were awards. Thank you, I guess, echoing Patty and Kim's statements. Can't say it better than y'all. Everybody, hope everything gets better as far as your repairs as well. Have a safe trip home.
Mr. Davenport.
First off, I think James wants to see everybody next month when he wears his Letterman jacket up here.
Can't find that one.
So there's thanks that can go around to a lot of us, and obviously a lot of things have been already mentioned. One of the ones that just happened was the comic relief from Mr. Wheeler at the right time tonight, so we appreciate that. Thank you to Miss Rachel and Miss Destiny for y'all's accolades. To everybody else that has a part in running this school and running this district. Obviously, 2021 is starting off very similar to 2020, but I think we're very much so prepared for anything that comes our way. And I think Kim said it best with the resilience. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has a hand in bringing an education to our youth of our community. It's refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air knowing that there's no money involved really in this type of thing. We do it because our hearts are in the right spot. So we want to say thank you to each and every one of you for what you do and the service that you provide to our community.
Mr. Crable.
Just wanted to make a comment. Earlier this month, I actually had the opportunity to attend the Wizard of Oz production put on by our high school, and I just wanted to give them a shout out, the staff and students that put that production on. It was a very good production, and I was really took my whole family. And, I want to let the community know I'm going to do my best to be involved, but I also want to challenge them to be involved in those type of events, because I think our students really appreciate that kind of support from our community. Along those same lines, to echo what Gina said, our Education Foundation is going to be bumped to April 6th. That is a major fundraiser for that foundation. So it wasn't a light decision to have to postpone that to April, but that is our main fundraiser, and those dollars go back to help our teachers and students. So please keep that date on your calendar. Additionally, that foundation does monthly, we have kind of a night out fundraiser for restaurants that are here local in town. So put those dates on your calendar as well. Take the night off from cooking and help support our foundation. And that's all I have.
Well, everything's been said. I mean, probably a lot better than I can say it, but once again, Bob, let your crew know that we really appreciate them going out whenever I'm sure they had problems on their own and looking after our facilities. That means a lot. And as well as with Ms. Hanson and Kim, y'all reaching out to the staff and, letting them know we're thinking about them and such. So Once again, and I would have to ask y'all, I've been here for a while, does other boards have to put up with the, not put up with, deal with the issues that we've had to deal with? I mean, it's.
I think ours are pretty unique in many
It's
cases.
always something, we're always talking about something huge, like every month is something else, but you guys always seem to pull through and it's great. And, thank you all for what you do. Appreciate it.
Dr. Wall, you have anything else?
So true. The district is a very special place, and it's very special because of all of you and all of us coming together when you need to do things to get us back going for kids. And so it's great to be back. So one other thing, it's also great to have Julie back. Welcome back. And Sarah for her filling in for that. So we appreciate that as well. So it's hard to believe this, but before we have another regular board meeting, we will have spring break. So till we meet again.
Till we meet again.
That just happened.
As was mentioned earlier, there's a lot going on. We've got workshops for various reasons in the planning stages and other things. So we're going to be very active for the next several months, but it's all for good things. The other thing I want everybody to know, I am fixing to take the board back into executive session. I wanted to go ahead and do communication so some of you could, in respect to you and your time, and not have to wait on us to finish. But rest assured, we will get updated and find out. We obviously have a parent that's concerned about something, and I'm not sure if any other board members even know anything about that. I know I do not, and we will find out. And it was not that we're not, and I was not sympathetic to what she may have to say, but legally we had to do what we had to do. But we will follow up on it. And just so everyone knows that, it's not that we are rejecting her claims or not taking it seriously. It's just there's a proper way to do it. And I want to make sure that gets done. So with that, let the record show that at 8:50, whatever that is, I can't see at 3, I believe, I'm now pulling the board back into executive session.
Did have one a few years back.
I was about to say, that's. When you're trying to clean that mess up, at least I can strike that off the wall.
Yeah. Okay, for the record, the board has come out of executive session at 9:22 PM, and we are back in regular session, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and multiple seconds to adjourn. All those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you. And